Thank you for participating in today's webinar. I am Pooja from NCSN and welcome you all. Please kindly note the presentation will be 45 minutes and last 15 minutes will be question and answer session. So please keep your mics, keep your audio on mute and video turn off during webinar. If you have any doubt, write it on chat box. Let me first introduce to our NCSN team. NCSN, that is Nature Conservation Society of Nasik, working since 1994 with a shared vision and deep commitment to the nature conservation and environment. The team NCSN hopes to create not only awareness but affection for nature by involving the public in general and children from urban and rural areas. So we have students nature club in Ashoka group of schools for past 4 years. We have been spreading nature awareness through outdoor and indoor sessions. But due to the coronavirus pandemic, we all are restricted to our homes in order to further contribute towards the global need for conservation of flora, fauna and the habitats to resolve the ill effects of climate change and contribute to avoid the pandemics like corona in future. NCSN team plans to continue nature awareness through webinar series for your school students. So today's webinar will be presented by Ms. Pratiksha Koture and she is a project coordinator and wildlife biologist. Now start today's webinar. It's over to you, Pratiksha Tai.
Okay, thank you, Pooja. I welcome you all the students. Thank you so much for joining today on Sunday morning. Like Pooja said that we have been conducting nature clubs in your school for past many years now. Unfortunately, because we are restricted to our homes, we have started this new webinar series. This is our second webinar for your school, that is Ashoka Marg campus. And I hope that many of you are participating for the second time. And if you are, so I'm very happy to see you all again. One more thing that I want to tell you is that we'll be having a quiz. Okay, we have set up a quiz for you. Just after the presentation, after the webinar, we'll be sharing the quiz questions on your WhatsApp group. So listen to the webinar carefully. It's gonna be quite interesting. Okay, I'm gonna try and show you different colorful pictures of wildlife that is seen around Nasik, and there will be some videos in between and some exciting information about the wildlife. Okay, so I request every one of you to keep your mics on mute. Right, so should I start? All right, if there is any problem, write it in the chat box. Pooja Didi will be there. She can read it out and she can tell it to me. Okay, right. So today's presentation is about protected areas of Nasik. Okay, and we have been Pooja, I'm making you the host now. Okay, so you can mute if anyone mic is unmute by mistake or something.
Done.
All right. So why do we need protected areas, or what for what purpose we have this protected areas? So let's understand this all in detail. Okay, this is the information about our website and email ID. So you do check it out about what work we do, and if you have any questions or any doubts, you can write us on our email IDs. All right. So World Conservation Day has been celebrated every year on 20th of July. Okay. So for this particular day, we have organized this webinar for you. Okay. Today is 26th, but and the World Conservation Day lies on Tuesday. So we couldn't have it on Tuesday, so we are having it today. But this entire webinar is for the World Conservation Day, just to celebrate this day with you all. Okay, so let's understand what is conservation, what is wildlife. Before that, let's look at this picture. Okay, this is from the Jungle Book. Okay, I hope everyone must have at least read the book or seen the movie. Okay, there was a latest movie in this section called as Lion King. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, if we do not conserve, okay, we will be restricted to get the idea about what wildlife is through pictures and books. Okay, we won't be able to see them in real. They might disappear because of various reasons. Their number is going down. Okay, so we need to understand that why the number of animals is going down, and there might be a day that we will be restricted to our screens. We won't be able to see them for real, and we can only see them through movies. Okay, this is a very interesting movie to see if you wanna check it out if you have not seen it before. Okay.
जॉईन झालं त्या मीटिंगला. कोणती मीटिंग आहे? तो माझ्या
Arya
बेड मध्ये
Kedar,
पडलेला असतो.
Arya
Hello,
Kedar, please
please mute
mute
your
it.
audio, otherwise we'll remove you from the group.
Yes. Okay. So what is wildlife? So it's a very, very simple thing to understand. And wildlife is something which is undomesticated. Okay, that means we have not domesticated, like we have dogs and cats, we have domesticated them. But then wildlife is something which grow and lives in wildlife area. Okay, in wild area. And they are found in all ecosystems. So if you go to Antarctica, you might find penguins, and if you go to Arctic areas, you'll see polar bears. And there are so many different kind of wildlife which is present. Okay, not only animals, but we have mushrooms, fungi, different kind of trees, butterflies. So all these comprises of wildlife. Okay, and there is a need to conserve them. Okay, so what is conservation? So conservation is a careful preservation, okay, or protection of something that we can't afford to lose. Okay, we need to conserve it so that it is, because we depend, our survival is dependent on it. For example, water. Okay, water is highly polluted nowadays. There are so many industrial effluents that have been released in the water, right? And if you just conserve water for say, you will be conserving a whole lot of organisms which live in the water. Okay, so there will be fishes, there will be different flora, which is dependent on the water, which lives in the water, right? So similarly, if we have to conserve soil, soil is getting polluted because we spray a lot of pesticides, or we release or we throw a lot of garbage. Okay, for example, plastic. So plastic is a material which can't be degraded. Okay, so the first toothbrush ever made is still in the uh, earth's soil. Okay, so just imagine that we are polluting soil in such high number. Okay, we are polluting air, we are polluting forest, we are cutting down trees, we are hunting animals. So humans are doing whole lot of things, and we only have to conserve it. Okay, so we need to spread awareness to the people who are actually polluting our area or destroying our area, and we need to tell them that if we destroy this, there will be a day where we won't be able to survive. Okay, so that is conservation. So it's a preservation and protection of something we can't afford to lose. Okay, and World Conservation Day has been celebrated internationally to increase awareness about the natural resources. Okay, or we have to do our best. We have to do best practices like awareness, like we are having this webinar today. Okay, so for this we are spreading awareness, and that's our bit, that this is what we can do. Okay, and we all need to know that all these resources that we have, like water, soil, trees, they are limited. Okay, we act as if it's unlimited and we can exploit as much as we can. That's not the case. Okay, so why do we have need for conservation? Let's understand that. Okay, because 3/4 of the earth consists of water. Okay, you must be knowing that, you must have seen the earth picture, which looks mainly blue in color. From space, if you take a earth picture, which will look blue in color, and it indicates that we are made up of water. The earth is made up of water. 3/4 of the earth is made up of water, right? But only 3% of the 3/4 water is the fresh water, right? The fresh water that we need for our drinking, for our agriculture, for a lot of different things. And we are facing water scarcity, right? So we are cutting down trees, so therefore there is less rainfall. Okay, there are many areas which are going dry. So you might see in news that there are huge lines of people trying to collect water from the tankers, and the tankers also come after 10 days, 12 days. So there's a lot of water scarcity. So next time you see water flowing, water wasting when you're cleaning your cars, when you're cleaning your bathrooms, or cleaning your hands, or washing utensils. Okay, you should be aware that we should not waste water, because water is a precious thing. We need to value it, right? There might be a day that we won't be having water for our drinking purpose. So we need to use the water at a very, uh, how much ever is required, only we should use it, right? So the another example that I would like to give is that people cut down around 15 billion trees. Matlab 150 crore trees are being cut down every year. Just imagine that, every year. Okay, globally, on all parts of world, you will see around so many trees being cut down. And since the human civilization, since we are seen on the earth, okay, since we have evolved into humans, 46% of the trees, okay, which were there on the earth are destroyed. So almost 50% of the trees are destroyed. So you see, this is a picture of Amazon forest. Okay, Amazon forest is a very important forest area, and it's also called as lungs of earth. Okay, because there are so many trees and so many uh, and the trees produce so much of oxygen. That's why it's called as lungs of our earth. And see, it has been destroyed for various purposes, for forming industries, for firewood, whatnot. Okay, so it's it's on our hands. It's up to us to save it, right? And there is a need of conservation. Okay. Now another thing that I want to tell you is that wildlife population, okay, different species of wildlife have been declining, and in the last 50 years 60% of the wildlife population has gone down. Okay, I don't know if anyone knows about this, but this is an Indian cheetah. Okay, an Indian cheetah is the first animal that got extinct after India got independence. What do you mean by extinct? Extinct means it has disappeared. There is no Indian cheetah found on the earth now, not in India or nowhere else. This is very alarming, and this is very sad that we won't be able to see Indian cheetahs now. So our ancestors or our elders have hunted it down, okay, till the last cheetah. Okay, so there is no Indian cheetah found. Okay, it's completely extinct. And who is responsible for that? So we humans are responsible, and we don't want anything like this happen in future. There are so many different animals which are threatened nowadays. Okay, there are only 3,000 tigers remaining in the wild, Indian tigers. Okay, and so there might be a day that the Indian tigers will be only seen in the pictures of our textbooks and of our magazines. Okay, and we won't be able to see them again. So it's very sad. So one thing what we need to understand here out of this is that we are not above nature. We humans feel that we can control everything. Okay, we can even if we are destroying, we can even if we are cutting down trees, we can plant more trees. Okay, but you can't replace anything. Okay, we if you're destroying anything, it's permanent. You cannot build a forest again. Okay, so we are not above nature, we are just part of nature, and we need to respect nature, because our survival is completely dependent on the wildlife or on the nature, right? So the first thing that we all can do is fall in love with nature. For example, you love your parents, you love your brothers and sisters, you love your school, you love your friends. That's why you protect them. Okay, if there is any calamity, or if anything happens, even if, for example, I love my phone. Okay, so I love my phone, that's why I also protect it. I don't just throw it randomly here and there, or I take care of it. Similarly, if you love nature, you will be able to protect. So I'm going to give you small examples which you can do to fall in love with nature. Okay, so this is not compulsory. This is out of your interest. Okay, this is not an assignment that you have to submit. But if you find this interesting, please do it. Okay, and you can share your
Excuse me, ma'am.
inputs. Yes.
Can you please repeat what you said?
Yes, I'm trying to tell you that if you fall in love with nature, you'll be able to protect it. And I've formed an assignment for you, okay, which will help you to fall in nature. Okay, but this is not a compulsory assignment. You can do it if only if you're interested. Okay, so let me tell you what things you can do. First thing you have to do is you have to start observing trees around your house. Okay, and there are so many different trees. There is a gulmohar tree, there's a mango tree, there is a neem tree, etc., etc. And you will see them changing depending on the season. For example, a mango tree will fruit during the summer season. Okay, it might get new leaves just before the summer season. Okay, so it might turn entirely red in color because of the new leaves. Okay, so or you can see trees where the leaves are shedding. Okay, there are deciduous trees where the leaves shed down. Okay, so depending on the season, depending on different activities, you'll see a tree changing. So you need to observe that. Okay, you need to observe whether the tree is flowering or fruiting. And whatever you're observing, you have to maintain a diary. Okay, so you can maintain a diary, and in your book, you can write it down. So, for example, May month, the mango tree in my backyard is fruiting. You can say like this. Okay. Um, or you can just see what different kind of birds and animals are visiting that fruiting tree. Then the second thing what you have to do is you have to listen to bird calls every day in the morning. Okay, so birds are very active in the morning, and no matter where you're staying, you'll definitely hear bird calls. Okay, the first thing that you have to do in the morning is listen to bird calls. Okay, so while brushing your teeth or while just stretching it out, okay, in the morning, you can just listen to bird calls. And there are so many different birds which keep calling. So you need to identify. Okay, you can say that this call is different, this call is different. So probably this is a different bird and this is a different bird. So start observing or start recognizing the nature around you. Okay, the third thing which you can do is you don't have to be specific. Okay, for example, you want to see birds or trees. No, see whatever comes your way. Okay, you might see a bird nesting. Okay, there are many birds which prefer nesting near human habitation. So they might nest on your AC boxes outside your balconies, or they might nest on your tube lights, or just in your garden. So there are different birds which will come to you for nesting, which will come near you for nesting. So observe that, what kind of nest it is, how many, but from a distance, of course, you don't have to disturb the bird, but from a distance you can observe. Okay, butterflies taking nectar, frogs hopping around, caterpillars feeding. So there are so many different things which can happen around you. For example, right now, a quail bird is calling and I can hear it. Even if I'm talking to you, I'm so used to listening to bird calls, I can hear a quail bird calling. Okay. The fourth thing that you can do is read news about wildlife. Okay, so in the newspapers, magazines, um, or you can you can see TV or radio. You can listen to radio about wildlife news, and whatever news you see, you can just cut the thing and paste it on your nature club diary, a nature diary, for example, or you can just read it and discuss about it with your parents, with your younger brothers and sisters. Okay, and you need to report illegal activities. For example, there is a huge tree near your house. Okay, which that particular tree is giving you shade. It is giving shade and food for a lot of wild animals like birds and butterflies, squirrels. And if you see that particular bird has been if that particular tree has been cut down, or there are people who are coming or chopping the branches out, so you need to report. So this is the forest helpline. Okay, 1926. So you need to call them and report. You can also call us. This is our phone number. Okay. So let me tell you that this is a very, very beautiful butterfly called as blue mormon. Okay, so if you have notebooks around you, you can write it down. This is the blue mormon butterfly. It is the state butterfly of Maharashtra. Okay, and this particular butterfly, you can see near your house because I keep looking at this butterfly every now and then. Okay, and this is the time when butterflies breed. So there are high chances that you might see the state butterfly near your house because they are more common in the city areas. Okay, excellent. So before I go into different wildlife pictures, just quickly I need to tell you that Indian government has wildlife protection laws. Okay, and we have been protecting wildlife since 1972. Okay, so we have a constitution, everyone knows about it. Um, and in that constitution, there's an article 51A. Okay, in that constitution, it says that, okay, everyone repeat after me. Keep your mics mute only, saying that it shall be our duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, to have compassion for living creatures. So it is our duty to protect and improve the natural environment. Okay, so this is our constitution saying. Okay, so we all should know that the constitution says that every citizen of India is responsible for protecting the wildlife, okay, or the protecting of nature. Okay, so we must be knowing that you need to spread awareness about this. Okay, and we have three particular laws for wildlife. One is Environment Protection Act, other is Wildlife Protection Act, and the third is Biological Diversity Act. So all these particular acts gives protection to all wild animals and wild organisms which are found in India. Okay, and with this act, there are certain things illegal. If anyone is found doing these things, they might be put behind the bars. Okay, they might be have to go to the jail. Okay, if you cutting of trees is illegal, hunting of wild animals is illegal, and keeping any wild animal as pet is also illegal. So any wild animal seen in India, okay, for example, this particular parrot bird, okay, this is not a parrot, it's called as parakeet, so you can understand that also. So this particular parakeet is commonly found in cages. Okay, they have been kept as pets. Okay, we feed them chilies and whatnot. Okay, but this is illegal. So if you see or if you know anyone who has this particular bird in a cage or kept as a pet, then it's illegal, and you need to tell them that, inform the forest department that we till now didn't know about this, and so we want to give it back. So there are rescue centers which will take it back. Okay, so you need to be aware about this. And we have Ministry of Environment and Forest. Okay, like we have Ministry for Railways, for Finance, we also have Ministry for Environment and Forest. Okay, and in that every state has a forest department. Okay, so this is the logo of Maharashtra Forest Department, and they Maharashtra Forest Department or all forest departments play a very, very important role in protecting our wildlife. Okay, so if you see anything wrong happening around you, do report to them, do report to us. Okay, and in future, if you find this particular subject interesting, you can become a forest officer. Okay, like there are police officers, there are commissioners, so there is an exam, UPSC exam, and through, if you clear that exam, you can be a forest officer. So there is Indian Forest Service. Okay, and it's very, very reputed, well respected service, and you can prepare for it from right now. And if you want to know more about it, do contact us, I'll let you know. Okay, right. So let's understand what wildlife we have in India. Okay, so there is a cartoonist, okay, called as his name is Rohan Chakravarti, and he draws beautiful wildlife cartoons, and he tries to spread awareness. So he has drawn a wildlife map of India. Can you imagine? So we have a map, right? And depending on the distribution of animals and birds, he has put them across the Indian map. Okay, and this is a very interesting map to study. So I'll be sharing this presentation with you after the on your WhatsApp group, and you can go through it in detail. Okay, but just quickly I'll tell you that what different animals we have in India and where are they distributed. Okay, so if you go up north, okay, so we have snow leopards. So probably in Ladakh and Spiti area, okay, we have snow leopards. Okay, then we have black-necked cranes. Okay, we have a beautiful blue and shiny color bird called as Munal. Okay, there is a vulture bird, okay, which called as griffin. Then there is a black bear, okay. And if you go to the northeast, try and go to northeast. So currently, unfortunately, there have been floods in Assam. Okay, and Assam is a very, very important habitat because we see a lot of different wildlife. Mainly, it's famous for the one-horned rhino. Okay, and due to floods, they have been displaced and they have to leave their homes and travel long distances. But we have one-horned rhino, and it is a critically endangered animal of India, and it's also the pride of India. Okay, then we have clouded leopards. Okay, and different kind of monkeys we have. Okay, and if you go to the central India portion, okay, so we have tigers. So tigers are mainly they are very commonly seen in the central India, and tiger is the national animal of India, right? You'll also see a very rare bird called as forest owlet if you go to the central India forest.
No.
Okay, and forest owlet is also found in Nasik. Okay, the other thing, if you go more to the west side, okay, like in Gujarat, you might see lions. Okay, so lions and blackbucks, if you can see here, there are foxes. So all these mainly are seen on the western side, right? And there's also a very, very important bird called as Great Indian Bustard, okay, which is also seen here. And we also have coastal animals. Okay, for example, uh, this is a blue whale, okay, which is found in Indian Ocean. Okay, and these are the Western Ghats, which is a very, very important biodiversity hotspot. Okay, so you will be seeing gores. This is a gore. You can see lion-tailed macaque, which is seen mainly in the Tamil Nadu or Kerala region. Okay, and we also have Eastern Ghats. So all India is full of wildlife. There are so many different wildlife species found in India. Okay, and also in the Andaman and Nicobar region. Okay, because there's so much of wildlife there. There's a very important animal called as the gong. Okay, I don't know if you know about this, but this is a sea cow. Okay, but I'm sure everyone must be knowing about giraffes and zebras. Okay, or but giraffe, zebras, or ostriches, or hummingbirds are not found in India. They're not Indian animals, okay, or Indian species. There is no problem knowing about them, okay, but we also need to know about what wildlife is seen around in India, right? And we must be proud of it because there are many animals here which are only found in India and nowhere else in the world. So that means they're endemic. Okay, so there is a word called as endemic, which means a particular species found in that geographical area and nowhere else on the earth. Okay, so this is a very important mammal, aquatic mammal called as gangetic dolphin. Okay, and it's also the national aquatic animal of India. So everyone note this down, the gangetic dolphin, which is found in Ganga river and the Brahmaputra river, and it is the national aquatic animal of India.
Mummy.
Mute your mics, everyone. Okay, so now this was a general introduction about the wildlife that is seen in and around India, okay, or what is the importance. But now let's come to Nasik. Okay, so we need to be aware of Nasik's wildlife because we stay in Nasik. And if we are aware and if we know what is present, we can conserve it, right? Okay. So Nasik has 6 protected areas. Okay, how many of you know about this? So we have 6 protected areas dedicated for wildlife. Depending on what wildlife is present there or how critical it is or how important it is, we have been categorized into different protected area status. Okay, for example, we have one wildlife sanctuary we have 3 conservation reserves, and we have 2 important bird areas. So I'll be talking more about them once we move ahead. But let's understand that we have 6 protected areas in Nasik. Okay, and this particular flower, okay, I'll be telling the name later on. But can you see this particular flower? It is like a kandil. It's a very, very tiny flower, and mainly they come on the ground. Okay, and they're only this much. They're very small, and it is endemic to Nasik. That means that this particular flower is only seen in Nasik and nowhere else in the world. So how many of us know about this, right? So we need to be knowing such things so that we can have affection towards them and we can protect them, right? So this is the map of Nashik, okay? And we have divided the Nashik into 3 different habitats. So we have forest areas, we have grassland areas, and we have wetland areas, okay? So this particular map, you can see this is the north direction, and let's cut the map into the half. Okay, so this is the western side and this is the eastern side. So the more you go on the western side, so this particular green spots that you see, all are forest areas, and they come under the uh, Western Ghats hotspot region. Okay, you can read more about Western Ghats online. Okay, but this entire region comes into the Western Ghats, and it is internationally proven that these are very, very important habitats. Okay, there are many species which are endemic to these areas. There are endangered species. Endangered means their number is going down, the population of the species is going down, and they are threatened. Okay, so if you go to Surgana, Pet, Harsul, Igatpuri, you'll see evergreen forest patches, and you'll see many Western Ghat endemic species there. Okay, in this blue color markation, if you see, okay, this is a Waghad Dam, this is a Gangapur Dam, this is Nandur Madneshwar. Okay, all these different wetlands are very, very important because we get a lot of migratory birds during the winter season in this wetland areas. Okay, how many, I don't know how many of you have been to Nandur Madneshwar, but it's a very, very important and very interesting area, and you see thousands of birds at one place. Okay, and if you go to the eastern side of Nasik, the yellow color or the ochre color marking here are all the grassland patches. Okay, so near Yevla, there is a very important grassland patch called as Rajapur Mamtapur. Okay, I'll be talking about this in the further slides. But just understand that entire Nasik has different habitats and it's full of wildlife. Okay, so let's talk about Nandur Madneshwar. It's a wildlife sanctuary. So we have one wildlife sanctuary in Nasik, that is Nandur Madneshwar. Okay, and you can see beautiful view like this. There are different watchtowers if you go early morning. Okay, and you can see the small dots. They all are birds. You can stand on the watchtower and look at them. So last year, the students who were part of our nature club, we had taken them to Nandur Madneshwar. We have a big telescope, we have binoculars, and through them they could see many different birds. Okay, so what is Nandur Madneshwar? So it's a wetland, it's a wildlife sanctuary, but mainly you can see different water birds there. Okay, and it is a confluence of 2 rivers. Okay, Nandur Madneshwar. So there is Godavari River and there is a Kanwa River. Okay, and they come together, and this is the backwater of the dam, Nandur Madneshwar Dam, where you can see different kind of wildlife. It is located in the Nifad Tehsil of Nashik district. It's on the western Maharashtra side. And there are around 230 species of birds. Can you imagine 230? We hardly must be knowing 10 or 15 species of birds, but there are 230 species of birds only found in that particular wildlife sanctuary. Okay, there are 400 species of vegetation, 24 species of fishes, and it's a very, very important area because this is the first Ramsar site. Okay, so all important wetland areas, mainly around the world, has been given Ramsar site ka recognition. Okay, and we are proud to say that in Maharashtra, the first Ramsar site was declared on 25th January, that was Nandur Madneshwar. So we all must be knowing that, and we need to be proud that Nashik Maharashtra has only one Ramsar site, and that is present in Nasik. Okay, so this is the view. So if you go there in the winter season, you'll see thousands of birds in front of your eyes, and you won't be able to believe. Okay, so there are n number of ducks and herons and waders, different kind of birds. Okay, and out of 230 species, 80 species are migratory. I don't know how many of you know, but what is migration? So birds migrate mainly during the winter season. They travel from north to south, okay, in search of food. Okay, so in north areas, that areas become very, very cold. Okay, because of the snowfall, there's hardly anything to eat. So they have to travel long distances to find food. And that's why we get 80 species of birds. Okay, so birds come from Russia, Europe, okay, then Southeast Asia, so many different birds, so birds from China, Mongolia, okay, we get them during the winter season. And so very, very colorful birds, okay. So this is a white color kingfisher. Did you know that this kind of kingfisher exists? But yeah, it is. And it is a very, very beautiful kingfisher. And they hover in the sky. That means they just fly at one spot for hundreds of times. And they have very, very good eyesight. And they can look what is there inside the water. Okay, and then if they see any fish, they'll quickly dive and catch the fish and come up and perch. Okay, so this is known as pied kingfisher. Okay, this is an ibis. Just look at the beak. So these three are the resident birds, and this is the migratory. Okay. So you can see the beak, how it's like a talwar. Okay, I'm sure most of you must have seen the Tanaji movie. Okay, so what people must have studied birds in order to discover different things or invent different things like talwar and whatnot. So see, look at the talwar beak of this ibis bird. Okay, this is a beautiful bird called as purple moorhen. This is known as the Rani of Nandurbaneshwar. This is a resident bird, purple color bird. Okay, it has a red color mark on the head, and so beautiful, but it's very commonly seen. Okay, so if you go to Nandur, you'll definitely see this bird. And this is a crane called as common crane. These one of the highest flying birds in the world. Okay, these cranes, and they come from Mongolia side. Okay. I don't know if you can see the video, Pooja. You can give me the report. But this is a very, very important or very, very cute looking bird called as cotton pygmy goose. And I saw male and female. So this one is the male and this is the female. Okay, I saw them swimming in the water and I clicked the video. So let's see if you can see it. Could you see the video, Pooja?
Yes.
All right, very good. So they're very cute looking ducks. So there are around 28 different ducks found at Nandur, and this is one of them. And these are resident ducks. Okay, seen throughout the year. And there's a misconception. Okay, I'm not sure how many of you know, but there is a misconception that ducks, people think that ducks can't fly, but that's wrong. Okay, the domestic ducks which people have, they have to trim their wings so that they won't fly away. Okay, that's why they can't fly. But the wild ducks that we see in nature, they can fly very well and they can swim also very well. Okay. The second important area of Nashik or a protected area is Borgad Conservation Reserve. Okay. So Borgad Conservation Reserve was the first conservation reserve in Maharashtra. It was declared in 2008. Okay, there's a beautiful forest area, but it's a deciduous forest. Deciduous means most of the tree species present there shed their leaves in the summer season. Okay, and the trees won't grow very tall. There are around 30 feet tall trees, but not very tall like evergreen forest patches. But it's a very important area. It's present on the Pate Road. So I don't know if you know that there is Ramshes Fort. So just opposite Ramshes, you'll see Borgad. Okay, it's very, very beautiful mountain area, and on the base of the mountain there's nice forest patch. Okay, and also need to know that conservation reserve means a area which um, the locals there, the villagers living around there are also the stakeholders. Okay, that means they also have the right over the forest, and they only go in the forest to collect some forest resource. Okay, like wild vegetables or grasses. Okay, so they can sell those things and they can survive. But in return, they need to protect the forest. So they're not allowed to cut the trees, but they can remove some wild berries or wild vegetables and also profit themselves. Okay, this is how the uh, forest looks if you just climb the mountain. Okay, and you can see this flowers, the ochre color flowers, they all are teak. So there's a teak tree which is a dominant there. Okay, so it's flowering. So this picture is taken in the monsoon season, and the teak flowers, the flowering of the teak tree is in the monsoon season. Okay, and teak is a deciduous tree, so it won't have any leaves in the summer season. So imagine looking at this particular forest in the summer season, how dry it would be, right? Okay. Okay. So there are different flora and fauna which can be found in this forest, Borgad forest. So let me just quickly tell you. So this is a very beautiful wildflower. Okay, and this particular wildflower only blooms in the monsoon. Okay, and this is a Ceropegia flower, which I was telling earlier. It looks like kandil. Okay, this is a Schedule 1 species. Okay, that means it's a very, very rare species. So the rarest tiger. Okay, so you can see it there. And it is, both these flowers are endemic to Western Ghats. That means only seen in Western Ghats and nowhere else in the world. Okay, and this is a flame of the forest tree, known as Paras. Okay, and it blooms during the spring season, and entire tree is red in color and looks like it is on fire. That's why the name, flame of the forest. Okay, and this is the karvan flowers. Okay, I don't know whether you've eaten, but these are the karvan berries. Okay, they're very, very sweet, and you will find them in the forest areas. So if you go, if you trek uh, during the summer season, you will be able to eat. So what we do, we go there, we also study the area, and also meanwhile we keep snacking on these fruits. Okay, so summer is very, very interesting. And but the locals there, the people which live around the forest, they collect these berries and they sell. Okay, so they are also benefited, and the forest is also benefited. Okay, this is Kartoli, spiny gourd in English. Okay, it's a very interesting wild vegetable, okay, which you is only get it in the monsoon season. So this particular wild vegetable can be we can get it during the monsoon from Borgad area, or adjoining different forest has this particular wild vegetable. These are the flowers. So these are the Kartoli yellow color flowers, and after the flowering season, you can see this kind of fruits. Okay. My father loves this vegetable. So I don't know if you have eaten, but do try it once. Kasara Ghat, if you travel, or if you go to the local market, you might get this. And these can't be cultivated. Okay, that means they are only found in the wild, and you can't cultivate them. So farming nahi hota hai kartoli ka. Okay, you will only get it in the wild. And then there are different faunas. Okay, for example, there is, see, you can see a big honeycomb here. Okay, so these are the Karvi flowers. So there's a rare white flower, okay, which blooms once in 7 years. Okay, so when they flower, they have a lot of nectar in it and a lot of medicinal properties. So once they are flowering, you see huge honeycombs. So honeybees, they build their houses and they take nectar. Okay, this is a hooded grasshopper. Very interesting, very different looking insect. Okay, so you'll see different insects, you'll see different spiders, snakes. See, this is the spider. This is called as the signature spider. You see, it has made its signature here. And it is also have caught a insect in the web. This is a beautiful butterfly called as great X-fly. These are the kittens of jungle cat. Okay, so jungle cat is a wild cat. Okay, and these are the kittens of the jungle cat. And this is a tree snake. And we also have leopards. Okay, so currently Borgad has 4 individual leopards. Okay, and we have big monitor lizards. Okay, the 6 feet big monitor lizards. Uh, so there's a lot of diversity of flora and fauna at Borgad. Lot of birds, colorful birds, birds which eat fruits, birds which eat insects. Okay, so birds play important role in different activities. So we'll cover this kind of thing later in some other webinar, but let's understand that we have a lot of different birds, resident and migratory. Doesn't mean that only wetland birds migrate, but forest birds also migrate. Okay, so this is the kingfisher, this is the bulbul, this is the sunbird, this is a fantail, iora. Okay, so you see whole lot of different. There are 105 species of birds reported from Borgad. Okay, and we also observe them during the nesting season. You can see they nest in the potholes. Also, some bird make nest on the trees, or some near the rocks of the mountain areas, or some directly lay eggs on the ground. You can see this particular bird called as nightjar. Okay, they are so confident about their camouflage. You can see this is a bird, and they're hardly seen from a distance, so they blend with the nature. Okay, that the word is camouflage. They camouflage in the nature, and they're so confident about their camouflage. They also lay eggs which look like pebbles, okay, or stones on the ground. So from a distance, you won't be able to see that these are eggs and not stones. Okay, so they directly lay eggs um on the ground. Okay, then this is a cuckoo. So you'll hear a lot of cuckoo birds, or the quail birds, calling during the monsoon season, because that's the breeding season for them. Okay, and you'll see the beautiful display of peacocks. Okay, so this is the male bird called as peafowl, and this is the female with the green neck. This is the female called as peahen. Okay, and they generally use this opening for their display. Okay, so this is a video of jungle babblers taking, so we have water holes made in the forest, and this is how. So water is very, very important, and especially during the summer season. Okay, these are jungle babblers. There's also a red-vented bulbul here. Excellent. The another important area or a protected area we have is Anjaneri. Okay, Anjaneri Conservation Reserve. Everyone must have seen Anjaneri. It's on the Trimbak Road, just opposite the Trimbakeshwar Mountain, Brahmagiri Mountain, and there is huge nesting colony of vultures there. Okay, so vultures are big birds, around 7 to 8 kg birds, and they actually feed on the dead animals. Okay, and they clean our environment. So you can see huge nesting colonies of vultures, and that's why Anjaneri has been declared as a conservation reserve. It's the second conservation reserve in Nasik. Okay, so this is an Indian vulture. So I was talking to you about this flower. So this particular flower is only found on the Anjaneri top. So if you climb Anjaneri, go on the top just after the monsoon. Okay, in the September month, you'll see this flower, and this is called as Ceropegia anjanerica. Okay, this is a scientific name, and this particular flower has been known as Anjanerica because it's not only endemic to Nasik, it's endemic to that Anjaneri mountain. Okay, only seen there and nowhere else in the world. Okay, so it's very exciting. You see a lot of different wildflowers during the September season, September month of the monsoon, and it's very, very beautiful to see. Just like Khas Pathar, okay, you must be knowing Khas Pathar is also known as plateau and different wildflowers. Okay, so you'll see similar kind of wildflower beds. Okay, on different mountain tops. So if you climb any mountain, you'll see this kind of thing in the September month. to remember. Okay, and this is the state bird of Maharashtra called as yellow-footed green pigeon. So we'll quickly see the video. See, so generally we see very ashy color pigeons, okay, around us, but these are green color pigeons, okay, and you can see them on Anjaneri. There is nice forest patch around Anjaneri. Okay, so this is the bird, and they mainly feed on fruits. Okay, banyan fruits. They love banyan fruits. So if you see any particular banyan tree fruiting, even in your city areas, you might see this bird. Okay, so they are very rare in the city, but you might see it. So you can carefully look. The name is yellow-footed green pigeon. Okay, so the feet are yellow in color. That's why the name. Okay, like I said, in this forest areas also, people come and collect these flowers. Okay, this is a maua tree. Okay, and the flowers are used for various purposes. They used to make alcohol. They used to make wild vegetable. Okay, so these are maua flowers. So the villagers come in the forest and they collect these flowers. Okay. Now let's see the grassland area, protected area called as Rajapur Mamtapur Conservation Reserve. I'll just quickly take you through the pictures. Okay, so this is a black buck. Okay, so this area is famous for black bucks. You'll see around 2,000 black bucks are currently residing in this area. It's a nice grassland patch. You will hardly see trees there. Okay, this is a male black buck which has horns and it's black in color, and the females look like this. Okay, so if you go to this area, you'll definitely see them. You'll also see Indian fox. Okay, it is a grassland animal. Very cute looking animal. You can see the long bushy tail they have, and you have very so there's a tree, a rare tree. Like I said, flame of the forest, which is red in color. This is the yellow color flame of the forest. Okay, and there are different birds. So you can see these birds, unlike the forest birds, are mainly ochre in color. Okay, or the color is very matching to the surrounding. Okay, so they have adapted like these. So these birds are only seen in the grassland and not in the forest. Okay, so you can see different kind. I'm not gonna tell you the name, only I'll tell you the name of this. This is a Dhavik bird. Dhavik in Marathi called as Indian courser. Okay, very important and very intelligent bird actually, and they don't fly much. Okay, so they run. Even if they sense threat, they'll run, and that's why the name Dhavik. Okay, and all these birds generally lay eggs on the ground. They don't build nest. So grassland birds are known to lay eggs on the ground. Okay, so we also have wolves. Okay, they're rarer than tigers in India. Wolves are very important, and they're also known as keystone species, मतलब important species of grassland. Huge grassland patches they live in. Okay, these are the dense sites, and we were fortunate to see 5 wolves there. This is the pug mark of the wolf, and you can see there are 3 wolves in this picture. 1, 2, 3. So this huge grassland areas consist of wolves and different animals. Okay. We have 2 important bird areas, IBA, which has international recognition. So one of them is Gangapur Dam. So the Gangapur Dam, which is famous for our drinking water, but you can see thousands of birds coming here during the winter season. Okay, and these are flamingos. We get flamingos also. Flamingos generally we get in the news that they during the lockdown also there were huge flocks of flamingos in Mumbai, but we also get flamingos in at Gangapur Dam. See, this huge flock, around 200 individuals you can see. Okay, and this is how they look when they fly. So, are you ready? Yeah. So when they fly together, it's like the entire sky is on fire. Okay, that's why these flamingos in Marathi called as Agni Pankha. You see, the when they fly, when they open their wings, the pink color, which is famous for flamingos, can be seen clearly, and very beautiful sight this is. So this is a yellow wattle lapwing. Okay, Titvi in Marathi. Okay, and this is how they call. Uh, did you do it? Did you do it? This is how they call, and we predict or we assume that they are saying, "Did you do it?" Okay, and you can see the eggs are laid on the ground, and this is the young one. Okay, which has emerged from the egg. This is the adult bird, and the adult bird is actually trying to protect the young ones. You can see there are so many different legs under the belly. So the adult bird is protecting the young one from a threat. Okay. And these are the bar-headed goose. They're the highest flying birds in the world. Okay. That means they travel or they fly above Mount Everest. Okay. Mount Everest is the highest mountain. And they fly above that while they are migrating. Okay. So when they actually come from China and Mongolia, and they travel all the way to Nasik, okay, or the southern India portion during the breeding season. So you can see there's a pair, bar-headed goose is the name. Highest flying bird in the world can be seen in Nasik. Okay, and another IBA important bird area we have is Ozar. You must be knowing Ozar and adjoining grasslands. Okay, is also an important bird area. And there was a study conducted by us. Okay, these are two wolves, and we had radio collared them. Okay, just to study them more in detail, and we had named them Ajay and Kajol. Okay, so this is an interesting story. Someday I'll tell you about Ajay and Kajol. Okay, and unfortunately, like we have lost cheetahs from India, we have also lost Great Indian Bustard from Nasik. So the Great Indian Bustards were seen in Nasik. These are the heaviest flying birds in the world. They weigh up to 20 kgs. Okay, and we had around 12 Great Indian Bustards in Nasik in 1999. Okay, but now they are extinct, locally extinct. You can still see them in Rajasthan and Gujarat, but they can't be seen in Nasik now. Because all mainly the grasslands are converted into agriculture fields, and there are industries coming up, there are different buildings coming up, so their habitat is lost. And that's why we can't see them. So it's very, very unfortunate. Even I have not seen this bird in Nasik. And probably, but if they might come back if you still preserve the habitat. Okay. And this doesn't come in Nasik actually. This is just adjoining Nasik. So if you go to Bhandardara, there is a sanctuary called as Kalsubai Harishchandra Wildlife Sanctuary. Kalsubai is the highest peak in Maharashtra, but not in the Nasik boundary, but just near Nasik boundary. And this is a giant squirrel. Okay, you can see this big giant squirrel is the state animal of Maharashtra, Malwar giant squirrel. Okay, so you can see them in this particular sanctuary. So they need very, very heavy green cover. Okay, and because they don't come on the ground, they are mainly on the tree tops. Even monkeys will come down on the ground, but the squirrels don't come. So they need to hop from one tree to another, and they love feeding on ficus fruits. This is a umbar fruit which is feeding. Okay, Malabar giant squirrel is the state animal of Maharashtra, but we don't see them in Nasik. But probably if the green cover increases, we might see them. Okay. So I've written an article about biodiversity. Why Nashik is a biodiversity hotspot. So once I'm sending you the PPT, you can read it out. Okay, you can get more details about it. With all these nice pictures, there are some pictures which might be disturbing because there are a lot of threats for the wildlife around Nasik. Okay, we have been desilting the dam. Okay, we have been removing the murum, and we have been creating craters. There are craters on the moon, right? So similarly, the Gangapur Dam, which is an important bird area, is a protected area. Still, people are disturbing that habitat. So I have shown you that there are birds which lay eggs directly on the ground. So imagine if there was a bird egg here somewhere, and it is gone now because we have been intruding or we have been disturbing the habitat. Okay, there are other different threats to wildlife. Okay, just to name a few, there is deforestation, habitat loss, poaching. Poaching means you kill an animal and you sell animal parts. Okay, hunting for food or just for fun, road kills or railway track kills. We have been constructing railway tracks all over, also through the forest areas. Okay, and we see tigers crossing, elephant crossing, and they die because of heavy traffic on the road or the railway tracks. Then there's plastic pollution, there's forest fire. So, just to name a few, there are so many different threats for wildlife, and their future is in our hands. Okay, so we have to protect it. So, he is Dr. Salim Ali, okay, known as ornithology, father of ornithology. Ornithology means bird study. Okay, he's also known as Bird Man of India. Okay, so every 12th November, Bird Day has been celebrated in India because of him. Okay, so he once said that I suppose I've done my bit. Okay, he has done a lot of bird research and contributed to the science. So he's saying that I suppose I've done my bit. It's up to you, the younger people. Okay, so we need to take it forward now. Okay, right. So I'll stop sharing. Okay, thank you for listening. I think we have 10 minutes now for the question and answer. We'll be sharing you the quiz just after the webinar. It will be based on whatever you have studied through the webinar today. So if you have anything to ask to me, you can unmute your mic one by one. Okay, just raise your hands and I'll ask you to unmute. I'll do that. You can just raise your hand if anyone wants to talk. Raise your hand. You can now. I'll do the gallery view. Yes, you can put on your videos so that I can see you if you want to. Or in the chat section, you can just raise your hands. Anyone wants to ask anything? How was the presentation? You can give a feedback. You want to say something?
Ma'am, the presentation was very nice.
Thank you, Siddhi. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right. Anyone wants to ask any particular doubt, anything, any random thing? Wanna ask? Vedant, you wanna go? You wanna ask? Vedant Nerkar. Or Mayank Sharma, I can see your video on. You have a lovely nature background. Awesome. So, you wanna say something? Randomly, you can just say anything. You can just tell what kind of wildlife is seen around your house. Have you noticed any bird, anything around you? You might be seeing squirrels, bats, birds.
Ma'am, at my place there are very different kinds of birds and butterflies.
Wow, excellent. So start observing them. Okay, try and see their colors and their size and shape. You note it down, send it to us. We'll try and identify it for you. All right, Siddhi?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great.
In my house there's a nest of a bird.
Wow. Do you know what bird it is?
It's something like cuckoo only.
Okay. That's a big bird then.
Yes, ma'am. Near my apartment also one bird's nest is there.
All right. So keep observing the nest. You can see.
Excuse me, ma'am.
All right. Let me just complete this. I'm talking to Aryan right now. So Aryan, and someone else who has also seen a nest around your house. From a distance, okay, do not disturb the bird, but from a distance, see what kind of nest it is. Okay, the shape of the nest you observe, okay, and try to sketch it. Okay, and see how long does they incubate the eggs. Okay, so 10 days, 12 days incubation goes on for how long? And when the chicks come out, what are they feeding to the chicks?
Okay, ma'am.
They're feeding insects, they're feeding fruits, what are they feeding? Okay. And after how many days, the young ones fly out. So keep a note, keep every day, observe and write it in your diary. You can do that? Yes, and share it with us on the group. All right, great, very good.
And also, near my house on the roof, there are some small plastic twigs. they all the birds come and collect those twigs to make a nest.
Oh wow, yes. So
Plastic.
excellent observation. Very good. So birds are excellent to use whatever is available. Okay, so they'll make use of resources available. So even if it's plastic, but then if they find it useful, they'll take it. It's very good. So keep observing. All right,
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Srinath, go.
Ma'am, my mother feeds the birds, bulbul birds, pigeons. Those birds come in my house. So she keeps water. The birds don't drink water; they bathe in it. They dip their beaks in it and have fun.
Excellent observation, Srinath. And you're very lucky that you're able to see this. Okay, keeping water for bird is very important. So through this, I want to tell everyone that if you want to see birds around you more, you can keep a bowl of water. Okay, and the birds love to take a dip. Okay, because they want to cool themselves or they want to clean themselves. So they after feeding, they'll just clean themselves by taking a dip.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so it's
Last
very
year I made a
excellent
nest
sight
for
to
them.
see. Yes. So very good, Srinath. Keep it up. Keep observing and try to note down what birds come and what are their colors and try to name them. Okay, I'll identify them. If you don't understand, I'll be sharing a PDF with you. Okay, PDF
Ask
of
one
bird
more.
booklet. There's a booklet of birds. Okay, I'll be sharing a PDF on the group, and so with that you'll be able to understand what bird it is. Okay, so all common birds seen in Maharashtra are there in that booklet, and so just go through that and try to identify birds seen around you. All right, next who wants to go? Harshi, yes, go
Yes,
Harshi.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, how many species of birds are there?
Oh, excellent question. So, do you want to know how many species in Nasik, Maharashtra, or India?
1050.
Who said it?
Overall,
Aryan. Okay, Aryan, very good. There are around 1,300 species of birds found in India. Okay, 1,300 in India. 500 species are seen in Maharashtra. Okay, out of those. And out of 500, 350 species are seen in Nasik. Okay, so now make a list of birds that how many species do you know? And if you ask me, I can tell you how many I have seen in Nasik. Wanna ask me? You wanna know how
Yes,
many I've
ma'am.
seen? Yes, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been birding around Nasik for last 8 years now. Okay, and have seen around 260 species of birds in Nasik. Okay, and I want to see more, so I go to different places. I try to see more birds. Okay, so one day when I started, I hardly know 20 species. Okay, now I've gone. So total count from India is 490. I've seen 490 species in India, and in Nasik I've seen 260. Okay, so the competition is open. You can come and compete with me. Let's see who sees more number of birds.
excuse
Yes.
me, ma'am.
Uh, Raise your hand. Who's saying?
Ma'am, wants to
First, introduce yourself. Tell me your name. Rest, everyone mute your mics. Everyone mute your mics so we can hear clearly.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Premveer, go. Yes.
Yes. Ma'am, when in holidays I go to my nanny house, my nanu always bajra seeds to all the birds, and many birds come there and eat the bajra seeds and drink water and then fly up. They love to play with water.
Yes, like I said, they love to play with water. So everyone keep water for birds around you. Okay, take a earthen bowl. Okay, मिट्टी का बाउल रहता है ना जिसमें हम लोग पानी पीते हैं समर में, वैसे ही उसका you will find it on Amazon also. You can buy it on Amazon, and you have to clean the water every day. Okay, because there might be bird feathers in it, and it might get dirty. So clean it every day. Fill fresh water every day and you'll see even if you don't have a garden space, you can keep it in your balconies. Okay, they'll definitely come, and
Ma'am?
especially in the summer season.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Siddhi. Yeah.
Ma'am, at my window, every day two tailor bird comes and chirp.
Wow. It must be very pleasing to hear them, right? Very meditative.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And what color are the tailor birds? Can you tell me?
Ma'am, it's little brownish and yellow.
Brownish and yellow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The tailor birds are generally green in color. So this might be some other bird. So you refer to the booklet and let me know after some time. All right?
Ma'am,
Yes, Aryan.
ma'am, one day my grandfather took a nest of a tailor bird. It was damaged, so he took it out and he kept it in our house. I can share the pics of that nest.
Yeah, you
Ma'am?
can share if you want to.
Ma'am, in our
I also
apartment,
took a video
two parrots
near my window.
and came and
All right, Aryan, I'll give you time 5 minutes just before we end the session. Okay, then you can share. Okay. Till then, if you have the nest with you, you can show it. Can get
Ma'am, may I
and
speak now?
actual nest. Yes, Nandini, go.
Yes, ma'am. In our society, there are so many parrots, and one parrot came and drank the water which I kept for them, and it
Okay.
was very pleasing to see them that they drink water.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, Nandini. Good job. Continue doing it and keep observing birds around you. So you must have noted that parakeets, they're not parrots actually, they're parakeets. And it's more joyful to see them in the wild, right? Like, free without keeping them in the cage. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So excellent. Very good. All right. So last one question we can take.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Who is this? Yes, Srinath.
Srinath. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, near my house, the in the balcony near my house, there is a lemon tree. One bird came and by mistakenly ate the lemon, and its reaction was like it was like this.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Good observation. So yeah, so you know that birds also eat lemon, so they also need their vitamin C ka dose. Okay, they must be also scared of coronavirus probably. We don't know. Good, yeah. So they eat neem fruits. They eat different fruits. They eat. Okay, and I've never heard that they eat lemon fruits. So good, you have observed it. Okay, keep observing different things. Very good. Yes, Siddhi, your mic is on mute. You saying something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying
Ma'am, I
something?
don't-
Okay,
No,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Okay, then Aryan, do you want to share something with everyone?
I'll share it on the group, ma'am, on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, that will be great. You can share it on the group. Okay. All right then. So, should we call it a day? Thank you so much for attending. It was a wonderful session. The question answers were very exciting, very interesting. Good that you're already observing nature. So you remember the assignment part I've given you. Okay. So now everyone form a nature diary. Okay, and start observing different things. And whatever you observe, write it down. And if you have any
Ma'am?
doubt, you can contact us. Yes, Harsh.
Ma'am, can you allow participants to chat on WhatsApp group?
Yes, I'll do that. Just after the webinar, I'll do that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Harshi, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Mayank, I want to listen to you. Say something. I love your background. Also, Harshi's background is very, very full of nature. So very good.
And once I went to that Nandur Madhveshwari bird sanctuary.
Yes. So what did you see? Remember?
Yes, there were many birds, and we got a chance to go near near the
Yeah, the area. Okay.
Ma'am?
Excellent. So next time probably we'll arrange a trip for you. Okay, this winter if everything is normal, back to normal. So we'll
Ma'am?
arrange a trip for you, and let's see. We'll see them through
I
binoculars,
also con
telescope.
that.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes,
before the
Vedant.
pandemic, before the pandemic, I used to live in Tanzania in Africa.
Oh, so you must be seeing a
For,
lot of
for
wildlife there.
yeah, once I in holidays I went to I don't remember the name. Iringa National Park. There's a national
Excellent.
park over there. Yeah,
Awesome.
they were almost all the animals I saw there. The lions were in a group of 20 or 30.
Oh, wow. Excellent, excellent. So I'm very happy that you're getting the exposure of wildlife since a very young age. So I hope that the passion keeps on growing. Okay, you go to different national parks, study more different wild animals. Okay, and also play an important role in conserving them. Yes, excellent. Yes, okay, so I suppose all questions are done. So we'll continue it on the chat box of our WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll share
Yes,
the
ma'am.
quiz questions with you all now. First, go through the quiz, solve the quiz. It's of 16 marks. Okay, and then later on we'll chat on the chat box in the WhatsApp group. All right.